Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Hey, there was some poetic justice Saturday, wasn't there? Victor Martinez collected a hit in his final major league at-bat. He was saluted, and he saluted the ballpark right back. Then his team used a late dramatic home run from Mikey Monter to claim a 5-4 win over the Royals. Today, we close the book on the home portion of the 2018 schedule. The Tigers eye the weekend series win with the Royals here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everyone. Alongside former National League MVP Kirk Gibson, I'm Matt Shepard. This has been a fun series, really. I mean, you've seen some clutch hitting. You've seen some dynamic pitching. We have also seen some very good defense, and we've seen a lot of emotion. And today, we get a chance to see, again, two of the better hitters in the American League, Nicholas Castellanos and Whit Merrifield. What do you appreciate most about these two guys?
Well, just the way they've developed, and they're having great years. They're both trying to hit 300, but yet they know they both have so much to do and so much to give as better teammates. When we watched Nick hit all year, he went through a little slow slump about a month and a half ago, but he's picked it up since then. Every pitch they throw, he can hit it down the left field line, he can hit it down the right field line. Here's one to center field, left center, no pitch. And Whit Merrifield, he's like a 9th rounder in the 2010 draft, made his way up through the minors, but he does it all. He's smart, he plays smart baseball, he has skills, he'll lay one down. He'll make a good slide if he's got it. You can't strike him out. He'll go 0-2 on you. This last night, Jacoby Jones almost had that to lead off the game. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's an unsung winner. As a matter of fact, they both are. And we look forward to some good performances from them both today. Hopefully, Nick will get the best of him, though.
Combined 13 for 24 in the series. Folks, we're used to seeing some walk-off victories here at Comerica Park. We've seen 7 of them so far this year. Are we in store for another? Mickey York on the other side has more on the Tigers starter, Daniel Norris, from the Call Sam Studios when we return on a bright Sunday afternoon.
Bernstein advantage in his last 2 starts against the Royals. 9 2/3 innings. He's allowed only 5 hits against them and 1 earned run with 6 strikeouts. It could be the perfect opportunity for Daniel to pick up his first victory of the season here today. Hi, everybody. Mickey York back with you in the Call Sam studio, hoping the Tigers cue up a victory here in their home finale this season. Beyond that, we only know that today's game is going to be close. Last night, the Tigers played their 8th one-run game of the season with the Royals. Those 8 contests have been split at 4 wins apiece. The season at home finale for the Tigers coming up here at Comerica Park in just a moment. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Ram, hurry in and get a great deal during Ram Power Days. And by Meridian Care, Medicare Advantage Plans.
September, Sunday afternoon, in the last home game of the year. Victor Martinez making sure he talks to everybody he can here in this ballpark, knowing that this is the last time he will be here, though will not be playing here today. Daniel Norris is the Tigers starting pitcher, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Gibby, how's he get his first win today?
Yeah, well, he's looking for his first win. He's had a good slider. It's been effective in his last 4 starts. The fastball is what's been hurting him. His velo's down a little bit, 91 miles per hour. But just the location of the fastball mixed in with that slider, he's been getting the righties out with it. He'll be in line for a win.
Here's the lineup he faces. The Royals lineup brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Alex Gordon bats third, 4 for 8 in the series with a home run. Salvador Perez hit a home run last night. That's 37 road homers the last 2 years, 4th most in the American League. And right behind him, Hunter Dozier, who's over his last 10. Whit Merrifield leads things off for Kansas City.
He'll be ready first pitch.
Really enjoy watching this guy play all season long. We've grown to appreciate it that much more.
How do you get him out? You got to pound him inside. He handles everything out over the plate.
First pitch swinging and fouling it off. On the road, Whit Merrifield has a .303 average. That is 10th best in the American League.
This series 6 for 12. Wow.
4 runs scored, 2 doubles, a triple, an RBI, a couple of stolen bases. But Daniel Norris quickly jumps in front, 0-2.
His goal here now is to scrap his way on base. He'll take the walk. He's just going to battle. He's just going to foul some pitches off unless he makes a great pitch.
Daniel Norris has put together some really good innings since he's come back. Gibby, how do you kind of compound that? Instead of having it limited to just 1 or 2, how do you make sure as the game goes on he's staying in that same type of rhythm that you noticed early?
Well, I think some of it might be the mindset. When you start to feel something, when you can kind of feel that stuff's kind of falling, the wheel falling off a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to replace that thought of where it might go, something where you want it to go. That makes sense?
It does. We constantly hear Rick Anderson, Ron Gardenhire say he's got good stuff. How do we know?
Well, you can see the swings, but again, he has to be consistent. No, I mean, if you look right here, look at Merrifield. He's one of the tougher hitters. Look how he stays back. Just stays back. He's just swinging, chopping at it. This is hard, so you're going to have to make a good pitch. Where do you attack him? I attack him right underneath where he swung and missed at, inside.
Got him swinging.
There he goes.
That's the 23rd strikeout compared to just 6 walks since Daniel Norris has come back in about 19 innings. That tells you the stuff is there.
There you see the sequence. Just a little slider took something off it. Merrifield's over top. Here you see Daniel's strikeout rate this season, Major League career. He's at 20%, 20.5. But I think Daniel, gets frustrated, as we all would. He hasn't won all year. He's had some injuries to deal with. He just wants to be right. And there's no guarantees in this game that you're going to be right. You just keep fighting to find it, to get yourself in a rhythm and a mindset that allows you to compete and succeed and contribute to the team. I mean, how do you measure whether something you've had a good at bat or you've had a good start? How do you measure that?
I would, like you said, with pitchers, it's got to be the swings and the contact. 3-1 now to Adalberto Mondesi, and for hitters, it's the same thing, right? It's the swinging contact.
I'll give you an example. He may give up 1 run and lose, right?
Yeah.
Now, what if he gives up 5 runs and wins?
Yes.
What would make you feel better?
Well, you want to win, of course. You want your team to win too. But if you feel like you've done a really good job, you feel like it's just 1 hit and 1 run over 7 innings, that's not a bad outing. That's a really good outing. I'd rather do that personally now than give up 5 runs over 5 innings and win the game.
But it's my opinion that when you put it on yourself, that you put yourself in a position to worry about where you don't want things to go. So you win. You
look out. Hit deep, and Kansas City has an early 1-0 lead.
So what? You gave up a home run. Now you got to go back to work. You just got to get beyond that. This kid can hit. He's got big pop, 90-mile-an-hour fastball. He tried to get it in. I think you got to have a little more elevation and it's out of the park quickly.
12th homer of the year for the Kansas City shortstop. Second one in the series. And again, Kansas City has the lead early in the series, all 4 games.
So let's just go back to what happened before we were hitting the home run was hit. So I'm just saying you have to find ways to not be critical and to imprint positive images about what you're doing in your contribution.
Well, did you do that as a player? I mean, you were pretty hard on yourself.
Yeah, well, it took me a while to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Norris is still young. He's got great stuff. He wants to progress at a certain rate. He has expectations for himself. He wants to contribute. And that, you know, I wanted to do good too. So when I failed, you know, I used to break bats, throw my helmet.
Yeah, you beat yourself up a little bit.
Well, it took me some time. And actually,
well, when did you learn that?
In 1983, when I went and talked to a guy about the stuff that I'm talking to you about right now. I mean, it's just turning the moment into something powerful in the right way.
Gordon goes after a high fastball and pops it up. Ronnie Rodriguez makes it 2 down.
McLaren Health Plan brings you the Tigers starting defense. Mikey Matuk out there in left field, Victor Reyes in center, and Nicholas Castellanos in right. Nico's over at first base, Candy at third. Ronnie Rodriguez, you saw him just haul that pop-up in at second with Pete Cosma. At shortstop, Grayson Grinder's catching Daniel Norris.
Salvador Perez, the DH, for the second time in the series. Last night, hit a late home run, his 500th career RBI. That brought the Royals to within 1, but Shane Green slammed the door, and the Tigers won another 1-run game. This one cued foul. Detroit now 22-27 in 1-run games. And as Mickey York pointed out in Tigers Live, 8 times they've done it against Kansas City. Good stop by Griner. Slapped foul.
So we've got Daniel here. We're talking about there's players all over the league that have different emotions they have to deal with, right, Shep? How about the minor leagues? There's guys thinking about getting released.
Oh, yeah.
Their job. So that's part of what you got to deal with.
Big time concern for some.
Did he just get crossed up?
Might have. Did a nice job stopping it, though.
No, he didn't. I didn't see it right.
Payoff pitch to Perez. That hurts.
Tow truck.
Is that what you called it? A tow truck?
Well, if you hit the ball off your toe, you need a tow truck. That's a shin burger.
Yeah, that's a shin, yeah. Would you ever worn a lot of that shin protection and elbow pad? Would you have done that if that was around?
Well, it was around. I didn't. I mean,
it wasn't as prevalent, though.
I hit a foul ball off my shin like 2 times right in the same spot, so I wore one for a couple days.
Broken bat single to center for Salvador Perez. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game.
So broken bat, you know, just think how you going to store it. Broken bat, it's not like gave up. You know, it's an okay pitch.
Yeah. Listen, you and I play a lot of golf. Just because you don't score well doesn't mean you haven't necessarily played well. If you hit the ball pretty crisply, you feel like, okay, I want to come back out there for another turn.
Well,
right?
my goal is to go out and bring you down, not make you play better.
done
I'll
that.
mess you up.
You've done that enough.
Oh.
Oh, the talking on the ping pong table. Oh. Freebie. Stroke to left. Matuk had him played perfectly. Royals strike first on the 12th homer of the year from Alberto Mondesi. Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Jamer Candelario, 13 of his 19 homers have come as a left-handed hitter. Ronnie Rodriguez has a 3-game hitting streak, and Pete Cosma is 5 for 13 in the series so far. Today's Royals starting pitcher is Brad Keller, presented by MGM Grand Detroit. He was a Rule 5 pick. Gibby, why has he been effective for Kansas City this year?
Well, he's got good stuff. He's kind of a two-pitch pitcher, 70% fastball. Almost all the rest are sliders. Arm side run on the fastball. Inside to righties, outside to lefties. He's got a lot of ground balls. A lot of ground balls. It's simple, but it's effective.
54.5% of a ground ball rate. That's number 2 in the AL. Clayton Richard is the only one who has a better number in that category.
He really buries the slider. On StatCast, it says the height is, there's only 3 pitchers who throw one lower than him. So he's going to be kind of be a guy that gets it down. You get a guy on, he's going for the double play ball. Might hit it into the shift.
Back to the mound. One quick out. And here's Kristen Stewart as the designated hitter tonight. Time for the DT Energy Know Your Own Power. And what kind of power display did Kristen Stewart do on the very first game of this series?
Twice. Big fly one just barely got out, and then the second one was a no-doubter. See the breaking ball, he stayed back on.
What a feeling.
Yeah, he had a great game. He got humbled a little bit the next game, but he's ready to go last night and again today.
At the DH, just to give him a little bit of a break.
Because you're grinding mentally.
Right.
You know, he had a bad defensive game, so this is good and smart for Gardy. You want to take that pitch. It's hard to elevate it.
Yeah, you've talked throughout already his games that you've been impressed with a lot of his at-bats. May not get hit every time, but does battle. 1-2 behind in the count here.
93-mile-an-hour sinker. He's tall, and Keller is tall, and he's got good finish. Sinker.
Stroked to second base, and a nice play by Rosell Herrera.
Let's take a look at the Kansas City Royals defensive alignment. Alex Gordon in left, Whit Merrifield in center. Jorge Bonifacio in right. Alcides Escobar at third base. Adalberto Mondesi that just hit the home run at short. Russell Herrera at second. Hunter Dozier at first. Cam Gallagher is catching Brad Keller.
Keller to face Nicholas Castellanos, batting .311 at home. That's sixth best in the American League. September has been off the charts. Really impressive. Leads the majors in hits this month and average this month. He's batting .405 in September.
A lot of knocks. I was talking to Nick for quite a while today. He feels like he's learned to control his mind and his emotions. Doesn't react as much. There you see the highest batting average this month. Pretty good.
Wide margin.
Margin there, yep.
Have you noticed pitchers, fearful might be a strong word, how much more carefully do they pitch him?
You know, they pitch to him. I've seen a couple guys pitch around him. Give him some respect, like the 1-1 slider. Staying away from him here. But Nick can hit virtually every pitch. Many teams try to throw him inside and or up and in. He gets the barrel to the ball.
Waits on a 3-1 pitch. Pops it up. Shallow right.
Watch out.
Bonifacio off balance but makes the play. And he will lead the Royals off in the second. Tickets today. Act now to receive priority seat selection. For more information or to place your deposit, visit Tigers.com or call 313-471-2255. That's 313-471-2255. Fan Appreciation Day here today on this Sunday afternoon. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful day. Jorge Bonifacio, Alcides Escobar, and Rosell Herrera due up for Kansas City. Daniel Norris trying to cut down on the pitches thrown. He threw 29 in the first frame.
Looking for some rhythm. I think Daniel, he's a max effort guy, and he gives a lot of he really kind of goes harder when things get tougher. You know what I'm saying? It's like he knows, and he has shown many signs of changing that, but it is really about the location at this point. I mean, Greg Maddux, you remember him? He didn't throw hard at all. You just
he had the best control of any pitcher I've ever watched.
Yeah, but he just, if you throw it in a spot Well, that pitch right there is a slider down and in. When that was going in his last start, that's a great pitch. But so far he doesn't have the feel for it. Hasn't been able to drop it in there or coax a chase.
Walked the leadoff man.
He wanted that away, and you see how he reacted there.
So you can see that a pitcher may not be hitting his spots.
Well,
as a manager or pitching coach, what do you tell them? Take some more time in between pitches?
Well,
or do you try to fix them while the start is taking place?
Andy knows him better than I do, and he knows a lot more about pitching. I know about pitching from a hitter standpoint. He may see something mechanically and should make a suggestion. He knows what happens to him, you know, what makes it go arm side or makes it harder to get on the glove side.
Yeah.
But for sure, he'll go out there if he does see something. But Daniel wants to win so bad. He wants it to turn around so bad. It's just a hard journey that way.
Yeah, he's really hard on himself. But he's 0-2 to Escobar. Who was your pitching coach in Arizona?
I had Mel Stottlemyre Jr. and Brian Price when I was there.
Oh, Brian Price, the former Reds manager.
Charlie Nagy.
Okay.
Nags. And Charlie had a way of making the moment lighter. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You go out there sometimes as a manager, and sometimes you maybe jump their tail. Other times it's a slight joke.
Just to loosen them up a little bit?
Yeah. Don't overthink it.
A tapper to second. Rodriguez a sure out at first. One down. Stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, where we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. The second baseman Herrera stands in for the first time today. 3 for 9 in the series. All 3 hits, extra base hits. This kid can flat out fly.
Got to watch.
We were talking about pitching coaches. Is their only job to watch the pitcher? That's all they concentrate on.
Some. We had Roger Craig here.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
He taught everybody everything.
Yeah, then he became a manager in San Francisco.
He'd have us watching for things. If he saw somebody tipping a pitch on the other team, he'd tell the hitters. But that goes for every coach.
Punched foul.
I mean, you're watching the game. Different individuals see different things, right? You're trained to.
Yeah, but you're looking for different things too, and that's why I wonder if he's just looking at the pitcher. You as a manager, you're looking at everything.
You're looking at everything, plus you're listening what anybody else has to say, if they have a strong conviction in it.
Do you like the trait that Daniel Norris is hard on himself, or do you wish you could reel that in a little bit?
Yeah, I like it. He has high expectations. He's intense. I will tell you that, and for instance, when Sparky named me the next Mickey Mantle, it was kind of cool, right? But it put a lot of pressure.
Ton.
I mean, I didn't realize it. It was good. I was proud of it, and they say don't read your press clippings. That's an example of how it can turn on you. Just something that I had to deal with.
Did you ever talk to him about that after? Did you ever say, hey, why'd you do that?
You know, he told the media because he's trying to do the opposite, you know. I mean, he's trying to build me up, give me a compliment.
Remember, he did the same thing, not to that extent, with Chris Pataro.
Yeah. He did it with a lot of guys, but.
Second strikeout of the day for Daniel Norris.
Here you go. There's a slider or changeup right there. Get the right spot right here. That's the slider on the outside corner. Back door. Well, that's a good quality pitch. It looks like it's outside. It breaks late. And Herrera takes a late swing but can't put the barrel on it, and down he goes.
Norris throws that 36% of the time. Skied to center. Reyes hustling in. Out goes Rodriguez, and a basket catch to end the Kansas City threat.
Here's a fly ball. You got second baseman Ronnie going out. Stop it right there. He's coming this way. He's coming this way. All right. Now the center fielder is calling it. He needs to come around here and bug out. Look at him. Ronnie goes right in front of him, and that's how people get spooked. And Gardy's been talking about this a little bit. You want to get out of the way so you don't spook the guy. I mean, did you see that catch?
Yeah.
The way they caught it. That was not an easy basket catch. But they will work on these in spring training. We've talked about Gardy, and we haven't done it in a couple days, but that stuff there, you want that to be caught 100% of the time with no injuries.
And you'd like to feel a little bit more comfortable about it than that. So,
well, Reyes is coming in from deep, all right? And so you're an outfielder, you're coming in, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to have to call this. And the second baseman's thinking the same thing. So the first thing is to make sure you communicate that to your infielder. And secondly is for him to get out of the way.
quick out from Nico Goodrum to start the second.
Bring Mikey Matuk up. He had a pretty good night. Just missed two earlier bats. Didn't miss this one. 88-mile-an-hour hanging slider into the left field seats. 2 runs. Greeny came in, shut him down. Tigers went away with the victory.
Needed it too in the 5-4 final. Matuk now with 9 homers in his last 28 games. You date back to August 16th, that's 4th most in the American League. I've always appreciated his outlook on the sport. How much he loves it, how hard he works. If Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring in a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. 1-2 to Mikey Matuk.
Mikey's been doing a good job of sitting back on the off-speed pitches lately. Hit a slider last night for the home run. You see him on that last swing. Just missed it. Couldn't quite wait long enough, but overall he looks like he's locked in. They make a mistake, he should get it.
2-2.
Just watch the way he watch all the hitters today. And they set up, then they have like a little leg kick, or right, and they have a little stride. The slow guys are the guys that are feeling good. Watch Mikey lifts it up, got a piece of it. Has a pretty good slider. But watch that leg, he's nice and slow. And look at the length of his swing, just gets a piece. That was a nasty slider. Spoiled a good pitch. Hopefully he hangs this one.
Rip to third. Escobar makes it 2 down.
Good at bat. That pitch right there, you don't realize it's got that little sink on it. It's hard to see on the screen, but it is right at the last several feet. It's going to move a little bit. It's got life. Looks straight, but it's not.
That's
See,
what
Mikey?
he's telling Pete Cosmo that same thing.
And it looks like Keller has what we call a heavy ball. You know, when you hit it, it's heavy.
Nice series for Ronnie Rodriguez offensively. Tough play for Escobar. Wow, that was awesome.
It's the big leagues.
Barehanded on the run in one motion. Special play to end the second.
Team through it all, which has been, you know, a pleasure to watch. I saw that from the other side all the time. It didn't matter where you guys were, the fans were here. Great tradition here, great organization, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And you know, I really enjoy these kids that are out in the clubhouse. We've had a lot of fun this summer.
And as you heard Ron Gardenhire in our Call Sam call of the day, the fans have been with this team through thick and thin all season long. We're used to that here in Detroit. It's a great baseball town, and they've got a lot of youngsters to look forward to watching as they continue to develop as big league players, Gibby. And I know that's fun, not only for Ron Gardenhire, but for everybody in Tiger Nation.
Well, you know, you look back on things, and you can see a couple signs. This is going to be the last day for the fans as well. But it didn't seem like it was that long to me, did it? Did it you, Shep? I mean,
no.
Because they're always building towards something.
Yeah.
You'd like to have another month left in the season right now, but they know that's where they want to go, and they've accomplished a lot of infrastructure items within the organization.
Trev, what do you think he's enjoyed most about managing this year?
Don't think Trev heard you.
Maybe he didn't. I think it's teaching these young kids. Mondesi's young. He's got one in the corner. After a homer in the first, he has a stand-up double with one out here in the third.
That's what you call left to right. Home run was to left field, pulled it, and this double right here is down the right field line. That's hard to defend. See, he's got a pretty good setup, good mechanics there, just barely fair.
Boy, Gibby, we've seen some really good young shortstops, especially in this division. This guy's going to be another one of those. We talk a lot about Lindor in Cleveland, Correa in Houston, and I hesitate to put Mondesi in that class just yet, but I do like the way he approaches the game. Not just a good offensive player, very good defensively as well. Although he did make an error last night. But that's bound to happen. Has a strong arm, really good range. And talking with people in Kansas City, there he goes. Can steal a bag too. And
there we go.
There's the discussion point that we've had for the last couple of days.
So it's an 0-1 count, and he takes off. You can see him doing it. He takes off. Do you swing at it and go 0-2 with him on third, assuming he's going to make it?
Yes, you're supposed to do that, right?
I mean, it's about 80% chance.
I think Alex Gordon is upset at himself too. I mean, Alex Gordon is usually that kind of guy.
Well, this is what Alex Gordon's looking at right here.
Mondesi 21 swipes since the All-Star break, tied with Whit Merrifield for most in the American League. His 26 steals overall are 6th most in the American League. Kansas City can pick him up and put him down, that's for sure. Over 100 stolen bases.
Now look at what that did to the Tigers by him going. Pete Kozma's got to be right in behind him now, okay? They pulled him and they've opened that hole up.
Is it Kozma holding on the runner because it's a left-handed stick?
So you got him right there, and now this is all open.
If this were a right-handed batter, it'd be Rodriguez holding him on.
Probably would, but they know they can't just let him go.
Time now for StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Well, there's another reason.
He can spray it.
He wants to stay within the hot zone, and so they can defend as well. A lot of foul balls with 2 strikes by the Royals today.
Gordon comes into the game batting just .246, but he's had a really nice series. He's looked really good at the plate. 4 for 9 in the series after popping out to second the first time up.
So that whole thing about does the guy swing or doesn't he swing, I would propose that as be part of any organization's philosophy.
Curveball tight.
So what I'm saying is, in the past, teams that I've played on, that was addressed, what was expected. So Sparky would, he told us that you take that pitch. Now, if it's somebody that's slower, then it's a different story. Because, again, I look on the run matrix and I'll give you the exact number.
You always bring up Sparky. Did Tommy Lasorda have the same philosophy when you were in Los Angeles?
I did.
Long pause.
Okay, so with 1 out, there's 41.3% chance with a man on second to score. Man on third and 1 out, 65.9%. So that's over 20% better chance of scoring at least 1 run. Now it is 0-2, so I'll give you that.
Stroke to left, right at Matuk. Runners at the corners now for Kansas City. Detroit Tigers game-used items, including bases, bats, and jerseys, are on sale right now. Also included in this new line of women's apparel made from game-used materials. All items are authenticated by Major League Baseball. To purchase, visit tigers.com/authentics. Norris in a bit of a jam with Salvador Perez standing in. Singled his last time up, a broken bat single.
Looking for the double play. Alex Gordon, 12 steals, 2 caught, so you're going to have to keep an eye on him as well.
Perez just under 200 on the road trip for Kansas City. That will take them to Cincinnati next. One and two to the Royals' designated hitter. Perez 12 RBIs in his last 13 games. Granted time. Alex Gordon can steal a base or two. Maybe that's why Daniel Norris paused so long.
Well, he's trying to figure out what he can throw to get these hitters out. It doesn't appear they're on the same page right now. So they want to make sure they do that. If you want the ground ball, I think you got to throw the ball low. Let your fielders scoop it up, take care of it.
Good stop by Griner. Gordon was 12 stolen bases so far this year. Only been caught a couple of times. Thus the throw over.
Tell you what, you want to watch. You go slow. Want to see who'll go from third.
No doubt. Kansas City, not just fast, but an aggressive team on the base paths. Count's full now.
Yeah, we'll get an eye on those, see if he. So you got first and third, then stop it there. If you throw over to first, you got to watch this guy. Take it beginning from here.
Lost him. Base is full for Hunter Dozier.
Loaded up, one out.
Dozier has one hit in the series, and it was a towering home run to straightaway center field. To third, Candelario around the horn. First double play thrown by Daniel Norris this year, and what a time for it to take place.
That boy make a pitch. Good results. He jumps first pitch cleanly at third. On the first. Yeah, it fired up. got him ISO'd here, and then real quick regroups, makes a strong throw to second base, and Ronnie, he's been working on it, and it pays off.
Big out for Daniel Norris.
He was fired up, wasn't he?
Should be.
That's what the kind of thing you want to store.
Griner with a looper, and what a grab by Mondesi. Boy, he covered a lot of ground.
He's a player. Now he's going out. Outfielders are coming in. Nobody calls it. You keep motoring.
A little snow cone action to start, right?
Yes. Any good concentration. You don't see anybody in the picture there, right?
Right. Peeled off. Oh, Merrifield, just a really heads-up ball player in center, so you know he's going to give him plenty of room. Here's Victor Reyes. Tapper to second. 2 quick outs. Hey, Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports app. Download the Fox Sports app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you. It's made available by Oakland University.
Merrifield's playing really short out there in center field. I would too. You want to know why he's doing that?
He doesn't think that Cosma and Reyes before him have the power to get over his head, or he can make up the ground quickly.
Well, there's 8 batters that have been faced, right? There's 1 strikeout.
2 fly balls, that's it.
And 5 grounders. So you're playing the odds a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're going to play a little shallower for Pete as well.
See if he can find the gap. Nope. Cut down by Bonifacio. Another quick inning for one Brad Keller. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Fantasy Camp and join former Tiger greats for an incredible week of baseball. Packages include personalized authentic jerseys, hitting clinics with Alan Trammell, daily games in Tiger Town, and more. To purchase, visit tigers.com/fantasycamp or call the number on your screen, 313-471-2550.
How's that chocolate sundae over there?
Oh, they're good. It's the last day. Why not take advantage of it?
Yeah.
Can't get anything by you. Bonifacio walked and was left stranded at second base back in the second. To third. Sure-handed for Jamer Candelario.
Well, we got to have a Dig Me video, right? Everybody likes
Dig Me.
those. Dan Petrie, he's joining the crew today again. Peach is a big, tall right-hander. Fastball sliders, my scouting report. Look at that life on that fastball. It goes in, it goes glove side, then he goes arm side. Little slider there. Of course, Lou Whitaker took care of him. And he was intense, and he still is. Peach is welcome. How did that look? Did it bring back memories?
Well, you know what? I actually got a couple people out, I guess. It's pretty good, you know. But it's always a pleasure getting to talk to you guys, and what a seat this is down here.
A little different vantage point, isn't it for you, Dan?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I was saying that I get this. I love this vantage point. I coach high school baseball, and this is a good vantage point. You know, for you to watch from the side, the pitcher's velocity, kind of how their pitches are breaking and everything. But this is a whole different level than high school baseball.
What are you noticing from Daniel Norris early? He threw 29 pitches in the first, 17 in the second, 18 in the third.
Yeah.
A few more than you'd like.
Yeah, and he's just not quite as sharp as he was in his last start on Tuesday. He's gotten a lot of full counts. You know, I think he's up to 3 or 4 full counts. Big double play he's gotten, but just isn't just sharp just yet. You know, in the first inning he was bouncing his breaking ball. You know, where before it was a little bit closer and he was getting some swings and misses. Right now they're just laying off of it.
Back-to-back hits with 1 out here in the 4th for Kansas City.
So when you're struggling like that, Dan, what do you, as a pitcher, what goes through your mind? How do you fix it?
Well, you know, especially in the first inning, I was thinking right along with them. You know, I said, hey, you're just struggling with that breaking ball, and it was so important the last time out. Just raise your sights a little bit. You're bouncing them right now, but don't raise them too high, obviously, to where you start hanging them. So it's just finding that little bit of a, you know, happy medium. Okay, don't raise them too much, but it's just a slight little adjustment on where you're starting the pitch. Am I starting it right at the catcher's face? Am I starting it right above his helmet? It's just finding that good release point or that good starting point on that breaking ball.
Dan, 5 of the 6 hits he's allowed have been on fastballs. Do you abandon that, or do you try to shake up the order in which you throw that pitch?
Well, I think that they're able to lay off of the curveball only because you know, because he's not throwing it for strikes. So as soon as they see that out of his hand, they're going to let it go because it's not going to be a strike. So anytime he's throwing that fastball, they're going to be sitting on it. See, there's another one that's, you know, down, and they're just seeing it right out of his hand right now. Before, when he was getting swings and misses, it was coming out and it looked just like his fastball, breaking late, and the hitter couldn't tell what it was until it was too late.
Gallagher gets a hold of one to left center. Matuk going back at the tracks. Got it. And there's 2 down.
And there you go right there is a good example. See, when you miss with your breaking balls and you're down 2-0, you got to come in with that fastball. And even though it's the number 9 hitter, you got to come in there, and you already got first and second, 1 out. You got to start throwing some strikes, and that one was good, and he put good wood on it. Unfortunately, just good enough for Matuk to corral it in.
Big outfield here. Ron Gardenhire was asked before the game, you know, his first full season here at Comerica Park, what he's witnessed, and that's the first thing he mentioned. And now you got to be careful for Whit Merrifield. Does he remind you of anybody you faced, Dan?
Oh boy,
he's a scrappy ball player. Really does a nice job of making contact.
And you know, what is he leading the American League in hits and stolen bases, and just and in a small strike zone too. You know, he's not going to be a free swinger. He's going to have a good eye, so you don't have a whole lot of margin for error. You got to kind of put it right in there. You know, normally you can, you know, try to get ahead and get some big hitters, I call them, you know, the guys that are a little bit more free swinging, guys that are going to hit a lot of home runs. You can get them to chase a little bit, expand their strike zone, because that's where they make their money, is driving in runs and driving the ball out of the ballpark.
183 hits for Merrifield. As Dan mentioned, leads the American League.
I don't know. I think he likes the ball down. He seems to barrel those. The only pitches they try and get up and in on him, down and in, he drops the head and he'll turn on it. Down and away, he seems to go the other way. The strikeout was basically a slider up and out over the plate, but at the top of the zone.
There's a good one.
That was nasty.
Yep, that's a good one. That's coming right out of his hand, as we were talking about before, where, you know, it's that good late breaker. You know, he's behind in the count again, 2-1, but that one looks like a strike when it comes out of his hand. He's thinking it's probably a fastball, and right at the last second it darts down and in, and it's pretty tough to hit that one.
Now, is that because he got it out front? Is that the thing you try and do with that, Dan?
You do. That slider like that, yep, it's right out. And again, it's where he starts it. You know, where's he starting that pitch? It's about that release point, but it's also, you know, we see it on the side of the ball right there. But it's just right where he's starting it. You know, it's what's he looking at on Griner? Is he looking at his right ear? Is he, you know, again, at his right shoulder? You know, where does he normally look when he starts that pitch? What's the starting point when he throws that slider?
Punched foul.
Merrifield's being Merrifield now. He's really lets that ball come. Doesn't want to commit. He saw that slider. He knows he's got to lay off it. Again, he doesn't get over that front leg. Watch how he stays back. The foot goes out.
You know, those are the ones that, you know, which makes him such a good hitter too, is he's got 2 strikes on him. And hey, I'm not gonna leave it up to the umpire to call it a ball. I'm gonna try to foul this thing off. I don't think he's trying to drive that any particular way or anything. It's just, okay, I'm gonna try to foul this off like he does into the right field stands, and then I live to see another pitch.
Yeah, and as a hitter, you're doing that. If there's a mistake out over the plate, you'll see it, and you'll be able to handle it and maneuver it as a hard hit ball. But like Peaches is saying, when they're border in or border away, you just got to get a piece of it. You're not trying to put that ball into play. You're just trying to spoil it.
9th in the league in on-base percentage. Waits on a 2-2 pitch. Well, Dan mentioned the number of full count pitches. This is the 6th batter he's gone to a full count on.
I think that fouling that pitch off is an art too, isn't it, Gibby? Because you don't want to just try to foul it off and end up hitting a little tapper back to the mound or a little weak ground ball somewhere. So it's a little bit of an art to do.
Yeah.
Good breaking ball, 3-2, and got it over.
82 pitches though, Dan. 82.
Yeah, I know.
And we're not quite through 4.
Got to have a good quick inning, and you know the 100 is a magic number.
Tried to backdoor this one. It looks like it's outside, but then he's trying to break it on that outside corner, and Merrifield's not going to take it.
And this is where you can't really, you know, throw that real nasty one. You've got to just say, okay, it's a get me over type breaking ball when it's 3-2, but it doesn't get any easier because you got a guy that's already taken you deep in the on deck circle. So it's a tough. You got the runners in motion. You got to throw a strike or the bases are loaded. There's a lot going through Daniel Norris's head right now. Yeah.
I'd pound him up and in right here. Think he'd get him up and in.
Another good breaking ball.
So you're telling me that you actually remembered that the guy hit a home run off you in a game like that?
That you remember the guy who hit a home run?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he does. I guarantee it. The hitter.
Oh yeah. No, you do. You know, and that's why he's sitting there going. You're always looking in that on deck circle, and that will dictate a lot of times what you're throwing to the hitter is who's on deck.
10th pitch of the at bat to third base. Daniel Norris gets out of it. Tough way to live on the edge, but he's getting it done. Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Dan Petrie, what's made him so effective so far?
Yeah, just like advertised, you know, you see that great breaking ball right there. But the other thing is, you know, he doesn't throw too many pitches that are right down the middle. He's hitting, you know, his spots on the corners and also moving it up and down. But I'm really impressed so far with that slider, and of course that big body, that big frame he's throwing downhill, which makes it very difficult to square the ball up.
You know, I'm detecting a cut on these balls. I just watched that piece right there. You know, he's got, it sinks. It looks like there's a little cut in there as well.
And
it's heavy.
You know, and he probably throws both. He probably throws the four seam as well as the two seam, and it depends on, you know, who's at the plate, whether it be left-handed or right-handed.
What's the difference between the two, Dan, and how do you use them?
It's the grip, but for me anyway, on a left-handed hitter like Candelario is standing right there, the sinker or the two-seamer, you're trying to go down and away, trying to get a ground ball, trying to get him to roll over a little bit, and then to keep him honest, you come in with that cutter that let's say Mariano Rivera made so famous, where it's the same speed, but it bores in on the hands of that left-handed hitter. It keeps him honest and keeps him away from looking out over the plate for that two-seamer. And then he sets that up, that four-seamer on the inside with that good slider that goes down and into to the left-handed hitter.
Do two-seamers and four-seamers look the same as a hitter?
Well, I think there's different movements, but Gibby can probably explain. Yeah.
Four-seamers usually ride high. They're true. Like I think his four-seamer cuts as well. Keller, I mean, he's got a little cut on it.
Back up the middle. Nice backhanded play, but Mondesi can't get him, and the Tigers have their first hit.
Hey, can I just interject with this? That's the Tigers' first hit, and the Ram picked the stick. Who picked Candelario? I can't remember.
I think a guy who used to wear number 46. It's like we're squawking early, huh?
Yeah, he squawked right away.
Yeah,
and don't get picked off before you start bragging about your hit.
Oops, I forgot about it. See, I got a little excited. It's my my first rodeo here.
I don't know. You had 215 points. That's not bad for your first rodeo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're only 100 behind.
See if the Tigers can put something together here. Here's Kristen Stewart. That's Gibby's Ram picked the stick today.
And there's a good example of why he's so good. You know, that's almost unhittable. You know, that's a pitch that, you know, Christian Stewart's going to say, okay, if I'm looking for that pitch, okay, you know, I can drive it the other way, but that's just down and right on the outside corner.
Keller was a Rule 5 pick, like Victor Reyes was for the Tigers. Keller was for Kansas City. Keller was a teammate of Reyes at AA Jackson in the Arizona organization, and he was the number 5 overall Rule 5 draft pick, with Reyes going first.
Kansas City likes what they got.
I don't blame them.
Now it's 2-1 count. How do you determine whether you want to throw the fastball here, Danny, or the slider down and in?
You know, he's probably trying to think, well, I got the young kid up there. You know, 2-1. Be interesting to see, you know, if Candy's on the move or not. But I think he's going to go, you know, that fastball down and away again, trying to get him to roll over on it.
Did just that.
Yep.
Trip Gibson, 2 tough pitches to hit. This is paint. And that's borderline.
Yep.
But both of them are strikes. So now you got to protect. Let's see.
Full count to Stewart.
He threw that right out of the same plane, and then it dipped down below, and Stewie laid off. Good job.
Yeah, I was watching it, you know, out of his hand. Was it the changeup or was it the breaking ball?
Looked like I don't know, went down.
Yeah, I think it was a changeup. Yeah.
Candelario on the move, and Stewart takes advantage. Detroit will have runners at the corners on the hit and run execution. Menards brings you the big money encounter. Nicholas Castellanos, one of just 3 players this year with those really impressive numbers. Freddie Freeman and Anthony Rendon, the others.
Tell you, Freddie Freeman,
what a year.
He just rakes all the time. You can't get him out. He hits lefties. He's a left-handed hitter. Anthony Rendon has come on this year after being injured. And Mick, we get to watch him every day. First and third, golden opportunity, nobody out. You want to try and get something up here that you can drive in the air and get a run in. I love to see him running on the 3-2 count there. We just got a hit. He moved the infielders. Stewie put it in play. That makes it tough on the pitchers as well.
And also second time through the order too. You know, he goes through first 3 innings. He's perfect, I believe, you know, and then all of a sudden he's first and third, nobody out.
Yeah, to your point, Dan, Keller threw 31 pitches in the first 3 innings. He's thrown 14 already here in this frame. One and one to Nicholas Castellanos. We talked about Merrifield leading the league in hits, and rightfully so, with 183. Well, Castellanos has got 180.
He's had a very consistent year.
Yeah, you're knocking on the door of 200 hits in a season. That's pretty impressive.
And if you're a runner, you don't want to get doubled off. I'm going to say it again.
Curveball drilled to center. Merrifield has it. And we are tied at 1.
Good job by Nick right there, right? Just, you know, getting a pitch that he can handle and drive it to the outfield, not trying to do too much with it, and gets the job done and ties the ball game up.
Yeah, I liked the previous play when Candy was on the move. Stewie put it in play. You got first and third for your best hitter, and he does it up the middle, hits it in the air for an easy run, still with an opportunity for more.
It's the 13th RBI in September for Castellanos.
You know, if he's not running right there, Stewart's ball is probably a double play ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, the thing that I like about Castellanos too, in the year he's having at the plate, is, you know, there's a guy that, you know, took a lot of heat for his defense at third base, and then moved out to right field and is taking, you know, heat for the way he plays right field, and he works so hard at it, and you know, that's got to bother him a little bit too, to hear the criticism defensively, but yet it doesn't bother him when he's at the plate. You know, he's working hard. He's got, what, 10 outfield assists, I think, which is third in the league. And, you know, well, maybe they're challenging his arm a little bit, but he certainly has a lot of pride when he's out defensively, but it just hasn't affected him at the plate.
Yeah, he's also matured an awful lot, become much more of a vocal leader for this team. Goodrum back to the mound. Could be 2, and it is. But the Tigers get 1. We're all square through 4 at Comerica Park. Final home game of the year for the Tigers on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon with Kirk Gibson, Dan Petrie, part of the 1984 World Championship teams. Mickey York, Trevor Thompson. I'm Matt Shepard. Glad you're with us. Daniel Norris goes back to work. Pitch number 85 on the day. Last Kids Day 2. Oh, you're scaring us a little bit there, Logan. Adalberto Mondesi, Alex Gordon, and Salvador Perez here in the 5th for Kansas City.
Mondesi's been dangerous. Home run and a double.
Career numbers against Detroit, impressive. Over 300 with 6 homers and 12 runs batted in. Kansas City feels like they have their focal point in him. They feel like him and Merrifield, you build around that up the middle, and Merrifield can play center and second. When you have a guy who has this much range, Dan Petrie, how much does it help you as a pitcher?
It's a pitcher's best friend.
Nice hop for Cosma. Strong arms him out.
You know, I'll tell you, a lot of people want to know what is said when Roger Craig used to come out to the mound, or when the pitching coach goes out there. Well, I can tell you Roger Craig would come out to the mound, and he'd say, hey, I just want to give you a little breather. You're in a little bit of a jam here. And the last thing he would always say was, okay, now just go get a ground ball to Tram. So that'll tell you what the mindset was whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to throw, make sure they hit a ground ball to Tram.
How about a hum baby? Was that ever in there?
that one too. That's right.
He was really good. He taught us all a lot. Roger Craig, Sparky Anderson together. And of course, he's got to give Billy Consolo his props. He's no longer with us either. There's the coaching staff has to be a combination of characters, I guess. Wouldn't you say, Dan?
Yeah, I think that sums it up great. Roger wouldn't take any. Uh-oh, that's trouble. Oh,
nice play by Rodriguez. Oh, he covered a lot of ground on that broken bat swing.
Yeah, I didn't see him sneaking over there. He's right behind the third base coach, and uh-oh, that looks like trouble. And he got over there very nice, made a good play.
This ball, look at Nico. It's a tough catch right here. He had to rush back. Good job of getting that foot on that bag.
Now you got 2 outs here, and this is where you really want to go after him hard, just to give yourself a good quick inning. Don't get into a long at bat. You've only thrown a couple pitches. You're up to 93. Started the inning, I believe, at 85. So have yourself a good quick inning, and you'll go back out there for the 6th. So there's some action out in the bullpen. So it's the same thing that's going through Gardy's mind.
Yeah, this is going to be it for him, sure.
Yeah.
What you've witnessed today is he's really didn't have his best stuff, but he's really battled. This kid really battles.
Exactly. Go foul.
It will, and it is.
I think Salvador Perez really likes that ball in.
That's a great point about, it's wonderful to walk out there with your best stuff, but it's kind of strange sometimes too. Is you'll go out to the mound with your best stuff right after the national anthem, and you're out of the ball game before people even get in their seats. And then other times you'll go out there, and you feel terrible. You might have a cold or something like that, and you'll go out and toss a 3-hitter. Ooh, good pitch.
He was walking off the mound there, Dan.
Yeah, it looked like it. Just a little bit low, and that's probably Perez just saying, I can't hit this thing, so I'm not going to swing at it. And he got the call.
First 1-2-3 inning for Daniel Norris today. garnered a called third strike on Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Red Sox in the second. That makes Cleveland the first team ever to have 4 starters with 200 strikeouts in the same campaign. Corey Kluber, Trevor Bauer, Carlos Carrasco all reaching the mark earlier this year. Put that in perspective. The Houston Astros lead the American League in strikeouts. They have 2 who have 200 Ks, and that is Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander, although Charlie Morton will reach 200 as well. But I do wonder, fellas, knowing that, well, the strikeout is a little bit more acceptable today. Is it really that big of a deal, Dan? Do you think that a team has accomplished that for the first time ever?
I think it's pretty impressive. It says a lot about the kind of stuff that your rotation, has. I mean, I was thinking immediately back to the Baltimore Orioles when they had the 4 20-game winners, but they didn't do it. So I think it's very impressive. The other thing is that I didn't necessarily have a lot of strikeouts, but there's a certain time when you do need a strikeout. Say with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. That's where you really bear down and try to get that strikeout. And the other ones might just be by accident, at least for me anyway.
Just so people know, I mean, that those Orioles who had 4 20-game winners, right? Pat Dobson, Mike Cuellar, Dave McNally, and Jim Palmer. Is that what it was?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. 1971. Is that right, Dan, I believe?
I was going to say late 60s or early 70s. I forget which year it was.
Mondesi shows off that strong arm.
Yeah, he's got it all. Here's teams that have 3 pitchers with 200 plus. It's been done. Tigers in 2013. Astros 69, 67 Twins.
Okay, I don't want to throw too much shade on the Cleveland accomplishment because we've already talked about it, how good it is. How about the fact that they do face some of the teams in this division more than anybody else? Does that matter to you?
Because they're better, it's more powerful?
Yeah, I mean, look, the other teams in the division outside of Minnesota, for sure, Chicago, Kansas City, and Detroit are rebuilding, and they faced them 19 times.
But wait a second, did you say Minnesota was rebuilding?
Well, I didn't mention them, no.
But they weren't. They started the year. They remember the year they had last year? They thought they were contending.
Right, that's why I didn't mention them. Fly ball to center. Merrifield makes it 2 down.
And Kansas City didn't think they would be as far from where they wanted to be, but they are. But it's funny. You can look at all the strikeouts. What one stat is reflective of one's future success? None of them. It's a combination of things. It's like you throw a bunch of fresh things in a salad bowl.
You have to take it all into account, don't you?
You take it in, you mix it up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not as good as it seems like it should be.
Grayson Greiner.
The stat I like, in this in the modern day here is that whip. I remember we'd always try to make sure that you always had, less hits given up than innings pitched, and the more the better. But when you add in the walks and everything, I think that's a true measure of what kind of success you're going to have. That lower that whip, obviously the least amount of base runners there are, but very, very important to not give extra people with the bases on balls, but try to really keep those hits per inning under a hit per inning.
So if we look at the American League, it looks like Cleveland right now has got Houston, right? The A's getting the Yankees would have the wild card game. So you got 2 strikeout staffs in Cleveland and Houston. So what does it come down to?
Actually, the Yankees have the 2nd most strikeouts in the American League.
But Houston's not far behind, I don't believe.
No, Houston's number 1, yeah. Greiner stays alive. So if you looked at that AL playoff picture right now, you see the 2 teams have clinched the division. It's just a matter of time for the Astros.
And the Athletics do what they need 1. Their magic number's 1.
Yeah, they're going to get there. And
with a week to go, It'll be interesting to see how each manager gets his team ready. And the Tigers are going to see Milwaukee. You know, Danny, you might remember this. You got the Tigers facing Milwaukee the last time in 1981. When we went in Milwaukee, we had to win, right?
I remember that very well.
That was when they had the split season because of the strike. But things, you know, the playoff team is kind of nervy. You're tense, okay? The guys that are going home maybe not as intense. So some things break out. They have in the past. The playoff team's got more to lose.
Yep.
Reyes sends Merrifield deep to center. Too much room out there. Dan Petrie, great conversation. Thanks as always. We look forward to watching you on Tigers Live postgame with Mickey York.
Thanks, Frankie.
Yesterday, the ceremony honoring Victor Martinez for 16 years of baseball and his final at bat as a major leaguer.
What do you get a guy who's got everything, right? You get him a saddle, a pair of boots.
That was a pretty. I thought it was a pretty cool, not just ceremony, but a couple of gifts that he had.
Yeah, they were very cool, and he did smile. Got a wall side windows pitching change. Drew Verhagen, 53 1/3 innings. Had a pretty good breakout year. Started slowly. Has come on strong, and it's his birthday. He wants to be on TV.
Ask it, you shall receive. Happy birthday.
Can he jump up and down while he's doing? Is that the great Jim Zinnig on the camera? That a boy.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Really. Nice job to get to follow directions of Mr. Zinnig. We should thank all our crew here. They work so hard. They do such a great job bringing you pictures and sounds. And you know what? Not just fun co-workers, but good friends. So we thank them for everything they've done all season. You'll see most of these same folks at Little Caesars Arena during the winter on Pistons and Red Wings coverage too here on Fox Sports Detroit.
I could say something here, as I always want to throw a jab.
Fire away. We're ready. Everybody's ready.
Chuck's sitting over there. He knows it. He knows it's at me.
Oh, you
no, that's
now Chuck works with us in the booth
most of the time.
But Chuck also works in the Red Wings booth with Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond too. And there is great respect between one Mr. Redmond.
Get over here,
Fair.
Chuck. So get over here. You look at him hiding. He blew me off the other night
Yeah, I know.
for Mickey.
Well, it's because it's
But you know
Red
what? I
Wings.
got to say that was what? that was the right thing to do.
Why is that? You didn't at the time.
Well, I was
You
just
didn't think so
busting.
at the
I was
time.
just busting his chops. The only thing that kind of got me. Good play by Cosme again. Was it was an exhibition game. We were playing for real over here. Look at he's speechless. He's been giving it to me back.
You know he works with us on our Lions coverage too. He's everywhere.
He does it all.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He even watches over me when I go to family weddings.
Does he really? So wow.
Anyway, you're my man. I know.
Yeah,
I had to do it. Got Mason in the back there.
Still eating the waffles from this morning, is he? Jorge Bonifacio.
You know, when you're watching the game in the stands, you know, you have a hot dog or you have popcorn or you have a refreshment or whatever. Well, we get to do it on TV and do the same thing in the booth. Chuck and Mace take care of us.
Sure do. Very fortunate.
You only have 30 seconds to eat it, though.
That's not a problem for you. Yeah, we're lucky to do it in this town with these folks. Bonifacio 0 for 1. Drew Verhagen's got really good stuff. And he's been able to corral it, pinpoint it even better since he came up.
Well, he's tall.
He's a different pitcher now, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's got good angle. And that breaking balls continue to develop. Let's take a look at his release right here. Nice and slow. Everybody does it. Look at that elbow. Do that for a year. Tell me how you feel. You know, these guys all learn to mechanically become consistent with that. You know, you can't do it one way one time, one way another time. They want to find that spot, and then you can work off it like Danny Petrie just got done telling us, working on where you're going to aim it. You learn to change speeds with it, and that's what makes these guys good pitchers. Is they come up early, tend to overthrow, I would say.
Why do you think that is? Because they're trying to impress?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing happens at the plate. You overswing.
Barely missed.
On your defense, you know, you want to do well. But
how good has Verhagen been? Last 34 2/3 innings. Only 8 earned runs. It's an ERA of 2. Tigers fans have wanted a solution to the bullpen, and Drew Verhagen has been part of it on the latter stages this year. Strikeout number 32 over that stretch.
What a great pitch that was right here. But this is kind of a pack of the season of Drew Verhagen. Look at that 95-mile-an-hour sinker, and then that big snapdragon right there. Again, look at 86 miles an hour. He's got that deception. Now he gets out on the outside. It's more of a slider, not as much depth. So you can see, and he's got multiple pitches that he's working off of that fastball. And he's picked up his velocity just because his mechanics are better. So it takes a bit of time and patience, and I think he's a guy as we look into next year, Shep.
He'll
Tigers,
be key.
Yeah, he'll be. You know, he's big, he's tall. Get righties out, you can get lefties out. Got to stay healthy.
To shallow left and in for a base hit for Alcides Escobar. 2 for 3 day for the Royals third baseman. Tigers fans, place your deposit for 2019 Detroit Tigers season tickets today. Act now to receive priority seat selection. For more information or to place your deposit, visit Tigers.com or call 313-471-2255. That's 313-471-2255. Rosel Herrera, who's 1 for 2 today. Good looking prospect at second base for the Royals. Needs to get the average up a little bit, but has good range and good speed. Started 65 of the last 85 games since he's been called up in the middle of June.
Okay, let's take a look at Drew Verhagen's. This is 2 fastballs. This was on the strikeout here. See how it ran down and in? And then we get the base hit. Just a little more elevated down the middle. When you learn to it's just a matter of inches. And to be fair, that base hit was off the end of the bat.
Herrera has not faced righties very well, just 188 against them. To left field for Mikey Matuk. Hustling. It's going to drop in front of him. Gets by him, and that allows the runner to move up to third. So Escobar at third, Herrera at first with 2 down.
Now this bat again, this ball, it's kind of off the end of the bat, and Mikey comes over and watch it hits, and there's English on it. It's going to bounce back the other way. Good pitch. Escobar's motoring all the way around to third. And Herrera stops at first. Now you got first and third, 2 down. You got to ask yourself, you're going to throw it through on the stolen base. You're going to arm fake. You're going to have the infielders hold their position.
Big batter here for Drew Verhagen. The number 9 hitter, Cam Gallagher. He's flown out to center twice. Hoping to keep it a 1-1 game here. Gallagher now 0 for his last 6. Did go.
Looking for the heaters. Got 2 secondary pitch sliders. Oh yeah. We'll go right after him. Like that 2-seamer down and in for a ball that he got Bonifacio on. Gonna go.
There goes the runner.
So again, you got first and third here. You got to decide whether you want to throw through, because he can come home if you do, or you want everybody to just keep their positions because you're in position, because you know this is the best way to get him out. So that means if he goes, nobody moves. You play defense only. And play the odds to get the out by the batter.
Herrera goes again. It'll be second and third. Third stolen base of the year for Rosa Herrera.
Little chin music there. Don't be diving over that plate.
Command the plate, right? If you're the pitcher, that's what you want.
Well, I think he was trying to come up and in, but certainly not anything trying to hit him.
To left field, shallow, hustling. Matuk can't make the catch. 2 runs home. Royals in front, 3-1.
I mean, this is a tough.
That's a tough play right there.
Well, all 3 hits. 2 off the end of the bat, and this was a full swing. Again, you see they're going out. Mikey makes the call late and just can't get it to stay in the glove. He had it. It's another one of those plays that we call it pop-up priority. This is how it comes into play.
.94 out of the arm of Drew Verhagen.
So we're talking earlier about Daniel Norris, about how do you process you're pitching good, you're pitching bad. Verhagen's throwing the ball good, in my opinion.
Agreed.
He just gave up 2 runs though, so you've got to hold on to that. I'm throwing the ball good. It's easier for me to say I get it. I'm up in the booth, but as a lesson learned, and it has helped many to be able to hold on to those positive emotions.
Merrifield, a season-best 13-game hitting streak on the line. Shallow fly ball to right. Castellanos has it, but the Royals used 3 straight hits, played 2 runs, and have reclaimed the lead.
Candy leads it off with a single to start off the inning, beats it out right here. Then Kristen Stewart, with Candy running, gets a knock up the middle. He gets first and third for Nicholas Castellanos, and he gets the sac fly. Tigers only got 1 out of that in that inning. They're trying to score multiple runs, but Tigers now trail by a couple, 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and they're going to need to manufacture some more.
Tough to do against Brad Keller, who's pitched very well today. Pete Kozma, Jamer Candelario, and Kristen Stewart. "31 pitches the first 3 innings for Keller, but 37 the last 2. One and 2 to Pete Kozma. 4 for 11 in the series against Kansas City, a little bit under 400. 5 for 14 on the homestand. Tapper to second. Herrera perfectly positioned. Here's Chevrolet's most dependable player. We've taken a look at the Tigers farm system throughout the homestand. West Michigan. And a great place to see a ball game, folks, if you can get over there. And
great atmosphere.
Yeah, it really is. It's an awful lot of fun.
69 and 70 in the year, 5th consecutive postseason.
Take it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place. If you're a young minor leaguer, that's where you want to go. Because the environment is incredible. The attendance is really good.
Supposed to say hi to Hannah right there. Hannah in that first ball game of her life with mom and dad.
Wasn't watching, I guess. Got to pay attention, huh?
She's waiting for you to say hi. And she's hung in there too. It's the bottom of the 6th. Sometimes youngsters are a little squirmy. They want to get up and leave. Hannah's been a champion through it so far. Candelario 1 for 2, singled and scored Detroit lone run in the 4th.
It's that back door. That's like a cutter right there. Okay, that's a heavy 93-mile-an-hour cutter. You see that ball cut right at the end? Right at the end. It looks like almost a slider.
Keller's battled back to make it 3-2.
Royals did a good job of scouting this kid for a Rule 5 pick.
And he just gets it and brings it.
Yeah, he's a machine, isn't he? He just gets it and throws it.
He's on pace to become the first pitcher in the Rule 5 format, the current Rule 5 format, to make 10 starts and have an ERA under 4.
Who's the, and Candy gets a walk, who's the best Rule 5 pitcher you can remember?
Oh, I can't. I have no idea. No idea.
I'm going to say, was Santana from Minnesota?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is that the, am I thinking of the right guy? Yeah.
Yohan Santana?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was really good.
Yeah, he's really good. I didn't realize he was a Rule 5.
He was a Rule 5. Here goes Stewie and Candy show again.
Yeah, Stewart singled last time up. It was a hit and run. That allowed Candelario to go all the way to third. And that was with nobody down. Gets by Gallagher. There's a gift to get a runner in scoring position.
Take a look from behind the plate right here. Look at how quick Candy's on his way. Stewie, they're throwing him fastballs down and away, and then they're trying to throw that slider down and in and back door.
7 RBIs for Kristen Stewart. 6 coming in one game Thursday night against the Royals in a slugfest.
Lucky he fouled that one off.
Why is that?
Well, it's just down in the zone. He wants to drive it. See it, when you're at the plate, you're anxious, and it looks like a good pitch. But he's got great movement. That's how you know. Stewie's got another chance. Hope that he hangs one.
Is he concentrating on pulling the ball here, Kristen Stewart, to at least get Candelario over to third?
I would say more just don't want to roll it over. You want to kind of just have length to your swing. Here's a guy, Victor Martinez, who had a few successes in these opportunities. Sitting there next to Salty, talking shop.
A lot of baseball under those belts. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of baseball knowledge, too. It's fun talking baseball with those two guys.
Hit it up.
2-2.
See, Keller's done that a couple times tonight. Notice how he held the ball. When you're up there at the plate, you're trying not to blink. You got to get your blinks in. He's held the ball on a couple of Tiger hitters. That ball's got some movement on it.
That's interesting. You got to get your blinks in.
Oh yeah. See, he's blinking.
Good job to fight that one off.
So when you get into the batter's box, action in the Tigers bullpen, looks like Blaine Hardy. If you're the hitter, you want to have your eyes just right. Pitchers too, watch. Because if you get caught blinking late, it's hard to see.
This is one of those at-bats, Gibby, that you've talked about.
He's battling.
Yep. Good at-bat. Be even better if you can drive it somewhere.
So when a guy holds you, you start to feel like, if I was to tell you to hold your eyes open right now, you can kind of feel it when you have to blink, right?
Yeah.
So when he holds you, you don't want to blink because you don't want to get caught. That's where you got to learn to say timeout.
Held off.
Keller
force of 3-2.
Put a little extra on that 96. See Stewie concentrating. Almost went. Gonna throw this one down, something off speed. Ooh, good spoil there.
What a battle.
And what I like about it, look at how aggressive. It's a good swing. Just got a piece of it. But good aggressive swing. He's waiting for that ball to come. That, you could see on that last replay, ball really moved off the plate right at the end. It's time to take a look at our Xfinity high-speed pitch. 95, low of 83. If he could pull off a big slow curveball here, it'd be really hard for Stewie, because he's just fouled off a couple heaters, just barely down and away. They're going to be on the outside part of the plate again. Oh. Good at bat.
9th pitch of the at bat gives Stewart a free pass, and those top 2 guys in the order allow Detroit to threaten yet again here in the 6th.
Look at this at bat. Just working away. They don't want to give him an opportunity to pull it out of the park. Already getting respect.
Well, here's one for you, Gibby. Mike Boziak, our statistician, says Willie Hernandez was a Rule 5 guy.
He's pretty good.
MVP, Cy Young Award winner.
That's right, he was.
Yeah. A visit from Cal Eldred before Castellanos steps into the box. MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment. Get Detroit Tigers home screen icons and features such as live radio broadcast, the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Could be a turning point in the ball game right here. Good crowd on the final home game of the year. Castellanos has the lone Tigers RBI.
We're going to try and get the ball on the ground so they don't get hurt.
Big swing. Castellanos 13 for 24 on the homestand.
So he's feeling good.
Oh. Such a difficult out. Gallagher watches this one sail away, and the Tigers have 2 runners in scoring position.
Here you go. Didn't get over in front of it. Harry Dickey is pretty good. Pretty good pitcher. Had some good years. Rule 5.
Yeah, he was really good. It's like Brad Keller.
If you're Nick, you're going to stay middle of the field. They're playing him over to right center in the outfield.
1-2 to Castellanos.
Took a lot off of that. This is the one I was guarding against on Kristen Stewart, because he throws so heavy and hard of a ball. You know, you got to get it rolling. And he takes that, all that speed off of that's hard to lay off.
Big strikeout for Keller, just his 2nd of the day.
Did it again. He hasn't been throwing this pitch. It's more of a curveball, I believe. Previous pitch was this. Look at him, just everything into the ground. It's definitely a curveball. Then fastball cutter, little slider. Needed the strikeout to Tiger's best hitter, and he goes to the curve.
Leaves it up to Nico Goodrum. Strikeout and a double play. Pop up. Mondesi or Escobar. It'll be the shortstop Mondesi And Brad Keller avoids any damage in the 6th. Auto Service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. May not have the wins you would hope for, but this summer has been a special one. A tribute to the 1968 World Series champions was spectacular. Al Kaline, Mickey Lolich, one in the Hall of Fame, one should be. And then, of course, before that, Jack Morris, Alan Trammell, their Hall of Fame recognition after going into Cooperstown here at Comerica Park. It's awesome to see their numbers on that wall. Blaine Hardy's in for the Tigers.
Blaine off to a really good start this year. Remember, he was starting, really rolling, then he had a little arm problem. So wall side windows pitching change, 82 2/3 innings, many of those as a starter. 62 strikeouts and 21 walks. So he's just rolling along as a starter, and this is how this game, and little do we know, things get a little tender, and then they go as long as they can go, and you hope that you can rehab it while you're pitching, and then there comes the point where you've got to stop and take a more direct course of action against it. And now he's trying to regain that form.
Sure looked good on that form. One down in the 7th.
Looking for something else there.
Here's Alex Gordon. Gordon 1 for 3. Did not play in the series opener. So effective the last couple of games.
Only hitting 190 off left-handed pitchers. So Gardy's hoping that works out.
Sprays it to left for Matuk. 2 down.
Been a lot of scouts around this last homestand around Comerica Park, sizing all the players up from both teams, and you have the advanced scouts from some of the playoff teams looking at players. Milwaukee is here. They had a big representation. They've been here all week. The Tigers closed with Milwaukee. They got a 2-game lead in the wild card.
Really important series. Could be a really important series for the Brewers.
So they're like a game and a half behind the Cubs.
Not just that, but even if they clinch before then, they want to. There's something to be said for having a little bit of momentum coming in. Perez drills one to left. Matuk is there. A 1-2-3 inning for Blaine Hardy. Will stretch with the Tigers down 2. Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Ram picked the stick competition. I don't know if we're going to invite Dan Petrie back if this is how he's going to play it. That's not very nice. Popping in for a little cameo appearance here today, and he is leading the way. Nico Goodwin and I not seeing eye to eye so far this afternoon. And Shep, you had a chance to go V-Mart again today, but so far Nick Castellanos producing nothing but zeros. But guys, on the pregame show today, we teased our next prospect spotlight, and I know Shep and Gibby, you're about to reveal who that is. Who is it?
It's Zach Houston, who performed for Erie this year. He's got good stuff overall. He was the #1 high school right-handed pitcher coming out of high school in Mississippi, and went to Mississippi State. Could have gone to LSU, could have gone to Ole Miss, could have gone to Southern Miss.
Big kid, 6'5", 250 Shep. Throws hard. Got good movement on it, kind of not really over the top. See the good life right there. There comes the breaking ball out. So he's one of the guys in the pipeline for the Tigers. See some of these pitchers, a little bigger frame. We saw Funkhauser. He looked good as well. We may see Zach Houston next year.
Only 4 homers allowed in 143 minor league innings. So that tells you that guys are having a little bit of a trouble barreling him up.
Well, you like any pitcher to keep the ball in the ballpark. It tells you he's got a lot of life on his pitches and he's locating them where he wants to. Or he's just getting lucky, and I like luck.
Keller's located his pitches pretty well so far here today. A Rule 5 draft pick that immediately people say, you should beat this guy, but he's been really good as of late. What's he doing to kind of foil Detroit offense?
He's got really good stuff. He's got really good movement. If you watch, little cut right there, right in the end of the fastball. It's a heavy ball. Looking right into that sun right there. I mean, look at this. Looks like a good swing right here. It's cutting right there. Like he's frustrated. Feels like he's seeing it, but the guy's got that good late life. That's what happens.
That'll bring up Ronnie Rodriguez. 0 for 2 today, but 6 for his last 13. So he's seeing something and starting to swinging better stick lately. Boy, Keller just gets it and throws it. And you can understand why. Just in that groove right now. To third base, foul.
All right, well, we looked at Ronnie. You make adjustments as you come to the big leagues. It's just look at this is just his setup. Look at how high the hands are here. Here they're down a little lower. We'll just let it play from there. And it's just a timing mechanism for him to get in the ready position and stay on the ball longer. Let it swing right through. And he'll continue to make adjustments. But he was starting with those hands way high. And the reason I think they dropped him is because you've got farther to go to get to your ready position. You start him lower, you're closer there, you have less movement, and hopefully you can coordinate better.
Poke to center. No problem for Merrifield. Those adjustments has to be difficult because you're so used to swinging, holding your hands a certain way. How often did you have to do that?
Well, you get to some place, you get to a good spot. It takes time and it is a process to change. But if you're getting beat on a certain pitch or you're not able to duplicate your approach, you got to do something or you won't be in the bigs very long.
Kevin McCarthy warming up. Already made an appearance in the series. Griner finds the hole left side for a base hit. He's been on base twice.
You pinch run for him here.
Sure. Although you do have 2 down. So you got 3 catchers for though, right?
Yeah, well, maybe you don't, you know, if he hits a double right here, then it's you have Aducey, Castro, Jacoby as possible candidates to pinch run if they decide to do that.
Jones with the best speed of that bunch. A little shoulder soreness after making a diving attempt on Whit Merrifield's triple last night. Came really close to hauling it in. Whale of an effort. Reyes quickly behind 0-2. ...105 pitches for Brad Keller. 4th time in the last 5 starts he's had 100 pitchers or more.
Kansas City's just going to keep going up top. Victor having a hard time laying off that pitch just above the zone. Maybe a little higher to try and entice the chase.
Stroke to left. Gordon. Did he make the catch? He did. That's why he's one of the best in the game today.
Did he catch that? Well, I don't know.
I think that's a pretty easy call. I think he caught it. No?
They're not going to challenge.
Tigers trail by 2. We're through 7. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
Kansas City goes out front on Adalberto's home run in the first inning. Then Keller, been very effective today, continues to have a good season. 7 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, and 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Then the Royals scored 2 in the 6th on a couple tough plays. Mikey couldn't make the catch right there. Drew Verhagen throwing the ball good, but they squeaked 2 out of there. And now the Tigers got to hold them. We got down to our last 6 outs.
Here's Matt Hall.
Matt Hall gets another chance. His 3rd appearance of the season. It's the Wallside Windows pitching change. See the 9-2 record with the 2-1-3 in the minors.
As the minor league pitcher of the year for the Tigers. Hunter Dozier, Jorge Bonifacio, and Alcides Escobar. Two and 0.
Well, we'll see what Matt Hall has learned in his first 2 appearances. First one was tough. Came in a tough situation. When he get into the first or second inning, wasn't planning to be in the game that quick.
Yeah, that was Michael Fulmer was injured. That was on the 15th at Cleveland.
And they were hot.
Yeah,
last outing not too bad, and here he is again.
Right back up the middle. Ronnie Rodriguez is right there.
Good positioning.
Who sets that? Who sets up the defense?
I think Ramon Santiago and the coaching staff. He's the infield coach.
So Ron Gardenhire gives them carte blanche. I want you to set up the infield. Dave Clark, you set up the outfield.
No, the metrics people are down there as well. And Joe Vavra, he's the guy who really digs at it. They all work together. They spend a lot of time on it daily. And every day we go in to talk to Gardy. You look across the hall there, you see those guys in there digging, and it's a heck of a chart that they make. It's Joe right there.
Yeah, he's into it.
Well, he's all baseball, no doubt about it.
Good dude to talk to right there.
He's on top of it.
Yeah, he really is.
You know, you see his position is quality control. And
that
boys,
doesn't do it justice, really.
No, well, it does for me because he's into the quality stuff. The
2-2.
Gardy staff really all together. Rick Anderson now the pitching coach. Pitchers seem to like him. Lloyd McClendon and Dave Clark work with the young hitters. Ramon, really his first experience as a first base coach. Steve Lytle, the bench coach.
Phil Clark, heavy influence
Joe
on the hitters.
Again, good job there. Got him. And then now you got Doug Minkiewicz, who was AAA coach, and Jeff Pico in the bullpen. Look at this pitch here, huh? Good breaking ball. Good spot. Way off the plate. Sometimes the hitter, you see it coming, but it doesn't come to where you want it far enough. And that was a good quality finish in the dirt pitch, and down in strikes.
There's a bench coach, Steve Little. Alcides Escobar singled and scored last time up.
These coaches, it's nonstop. Nonstop. Get here early, leave late.
A lot of numbers to pour through.
A lot of information, scouting reports, and then also orders from the boss.
Yeah, I would argue baseball has as much to pour through as football does. Football's a lot of film watching, as is baseball. But theirs is more tied into the numbers aspect.
Well, I think ideally you scout with your eyes and your feel and the metrics as well. And if they cross, then you got something. You know what I'm saying? And when that
so
happens,
the metric supports it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they don't meet, then you got to dig into it a little deeper. And then beyond those guys, you got to go way down into the organization of the whole minor league staff and their input. They work with kids every day. They know the kids and the guys that are scouting them as well. So you're taking Ella Vila's taken all this information and they go over it, and then they're trying to make good decisions. And since Al's gotten here, the infrastructure of this organization is really changed in a good way. Now they're starting to get set up to do some damage. We've been talking about how they're evaluating for next year. They won't have, there'll be a deadline coming up where they're going to have to reset their roster, and who do you keep? Who do you let go? What do you do with each individual player?
Stroke to short. Cosma on the backhand. Nice pick by Goodrum. It's a 1-2-3-8 for Matt Hall. Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory.
Here we go. About time we brought this Rally Goose back. This is real.
You've been missing that.
This is real. This is taped by me. This is a real piece right here. The rally's on its way. Gosh, do I like that sound.
So do your two dogs. Jim Adducci is going to be a pinch hitter for Pete Cosma to face Kevin McCarthy.
Wanted to get the rally bees going. I had bad footage.
I didn't know there was such a thing. Adducci greets McCarthy with a base hit.
There you go. The Deuce is ready, loose it down into the cage, and sees that first pitch down the middle and takes it right up the middle. Leadoff knock. Said I should have had that.
Or I made the wrong pitch. Snaps an 0 for 10 skid for Jim Adducci in a clutch way. Rolls the lineup over to the top of the order for Jamer Candelario. McCarthy appeared in Friday's game, threw an inning, gave up a hit, struck out a batter. Here's our Wallside Windows pitching change. His 69 innings now for Kevin McCarthy.
Fastball, curveball, change. So they'll throw the sink at you.
Said earlier, Candelario has 19 homers on the year. 13 have come from the left side of the plate. One hit in the series, and it came in the fourth, and he ended up scoring on it.
Two and one count. Candy's in the driver's seat. You have to be patient here. Don't get too much energy inside that body. Just looking at the deuce, will probably move to first base, and Nico will probably go to short, huh?
That would be the guess, unless Goodrum goes to second and Rodriguez goes to short.
Or Rodriguez goes to short and Nico goes to second.
Right.
I mean, they can go wherever they got to go, because they've got big time flexibility. That's the one other good thing that kind of goes unnoticed.
Be ready here to center field. There's Kristen Stewart.
Been throwing Stewie away. Don't want him to yank. Went out of the park.
1 for 2, but on base twice. Brad Keller, by the way, lasted 7, gave up 3 hits, an earned run, struck out a couple, and threw 107 pitches.
Really not in too much trouble, and the ability to get out when he was in trouble. Big strikeout against Nick.
Stewart grounds one to short. They try to turn it, but it's not in time.
Just down and away right there. Mondesi, the quick turn. Stewie is puffing it down there, and he beats it out. Head down, that a boy, arms pumping. Pretty good form.
Important effort to allow your best hitter to stand in as the tying run here in the 8th.
Wouldn't it be something?
22 homers for Nicholas Castellanos.
Nasty slider right there. Good take by Nick.
Castellanos with 3 hits yesterday. 19 times he's had 3 hits or more in a game. That's tied for the American League lead with Gene Segura of Seattle. Scalded to third. The Royals lead by 2, and we're through 8 here in the final home game of the year.
Sam update. Dan, the Tigers didn't have a lot of offensive opportunities in this game. How much did Kansas City starter Brad Keller have to do with that?
Well, he's been everything that has been advertised. You know, he was perfect through the first 3 innings, and Only really had one inning where they got the one run and had one more chance and made great pitches to get a tough Tiger hitter out.
Well, hopefully the Tigers can get something going here in the ninth. But coming up after the game on Tigers Live, we'll talk to Daniel Norris. Did he feel he made a step forward today? And we'll take a look back at the best moments of the season here at Comerica Park. There can't really only be 6 outs left in the home portion of the schedule, can there, Shep?
I hope not, but I am looking forward to seeing that. The best moments at Comerica Park this year. Jim Adducci, who had a pinch hit single there in the 8th, stays in, plays first, pushing Nico Goodrum over to short. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Royals here in the 9th.
Going with the curveball. Tigers pitchers are starting to throw more breaking balls. It's kind of the trend around the league. The good teams that go to the playoffs, they spin it. They spin it more.
Matt Hall trying to prove something here down the stretch too, and I'm sure Dan Petrie will talk about this with a number of different pitchers on this Tigers staff as he tries to become a solid option out of the bullpen as a lefty for this team next year. Daniel Stumpf, Blaine Hardy to join him. What's the balance there out of your bullpen? What would you like as a manager? How many righties, how many lefties? Is it equal?
Well, it depends how many they take on their roster. So they could take, they're going to have 9 players and 3. That's 12. They're going to get 13 pitchers. So you got 13 pitchers. 5 are going to be starters. So anyway, here's probable starters. This is brought to you by Wallside Windows. For the rest of the season this year, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Looks like Jordan Zimmerman and Norris got 1, and Spencer Turnbull, he gets 2. And that's set up just perfect.
Cam Gallagher, who had a 2-run single back in the 6th. That's been the difference in the ball game.
So we got 13 pitchers, 5 starters. That gives us 8 in the pen. You got a closer, an 8-inning guy. You got 6. You want to have at least a lefty. You got 5 left, right? And then you know, you want to have at least 1 long guy.
Would Daniel Norris possibly be part of that mix as a lefty out of the bullpen, and that maybe that?
Oh, you're talking pin?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to throw some more in winter balls. You know, some of these guys may go down to winter ball and throw some down there.
Wide to third.
So ideally, I mean, I would like to have at least 2 lefties on my staff. Probably in the bullpen, I'd like to have 2 lefties.
Okay. At least 2.
One situational guy. I mean, ideally, you have a situational guy from the left side and a situational guy like Brad Ziegler. A drop-down guy. I mean, I'd like to have a ground ball guy from the right side. Ziegler's a guy who faced only right-handers when he came to Arizona. He developed his changeup so he could go both ways. You know, you got to have different things. Good job right here by Matt Haller looking for the curveball and taking the fastball.
That's his 2nd strikeout of the day.
Looks a little bit sharper, crisper, throwing the ball better. Much more settled down than we saw in Cleveland. Good pitch.
Now Whit Merrifield, who came in as the 6th best hitter in the American League with a .304 average, but right now on the line his 14-game Comerica Park hitting streak and his 13-game hitting streak overall. 0 for 4 today.
Yeah, I like more up in the air for Whit Merrifield. It seems like he really pounds the ball down. Get the ball in the air. Now, you don't want it to be middle in, just on the plate, because he can hit that one out of the park. The other ones, I don't think so much.
Merrifield's trying to become just the 4th Royal to lead the American League in hits, and the first since Kevin Seitzer.
So no ex-teammate Kevin Seitzer.
Where'd you play with him?
Kansas City.
The other way. The hitting streak continues. And Merrifield will dig for 2. Maybe 3. Had a triple the other night. And he's got a triple again here today.
He's in that 2-strike approach. This ball is a fastball down and out over the plate. He just drops the head on it. Look at, he doesn't get out front. It's just real calm. Doesn't try and pull off it.
Man, such a good hitter, huh, Gibby?
Yeah, very good. Runs the bases pretty good as well.
Well, would you say most guys who are fast do run the bases well? Mondesi to 3rd. Hall gets out of it. Tigers need a comeback in the 9th. This guy did it for him last night. And he'll be hitting in the 9th. Does he have more magic left? Stick around to find out.
Every time I've ever done that, I always worried they got to do the manager. So that's my biggest fear, is that the person's going to go, look, really, I get your shirt. So, but it's cool. It's cool for the fans to get to interact with the players. Always is.
Hopefully it's cool in the sense that it'll be a comeback walk-off win for the Tigers here at home, and Ron Gardenhire, no matter who gets his jersey, will be happy to get it, because everyone will leave here happy today. That is the hope as we bring this thing home, Shep.
Trev, he makes us, I mean, we laugh an awful lot when we go into that manager's office before the game, don't we?
We laugh every day, and he's had a great attitude all season long, regardless of what's gone on. His patience, his understanding, certainly a sense of humor. It's all helped him and helped us along the way this season, Shep.
He's got a good sense of humor. He has a couple times kind of put his foot down. Everybody's got the hint and respected him. Goes both ways.
A little bunt by Goodrum. Barehanded play by Escobar, not in time to get the speedy leadoff man for Detroit.
Smart play. Escobar more of a shortstop, but he really been great. Look at that bare hand. This is not an easy play. Now he rolls it under, going away from first base. Nico's just too fast.
It's a good way to start the 9th against Willie Peralta. Making his 34th appearance of the year.
Throws fastball in the upper 90s. He's got a breaking ball, and I believe he throws a split.
Remember what Mikey Matuk did last night. There goes Goodrum on a check swing.
Not sure. Generally, you don't go in that situation. When he hits a line drive, you're down by 2 runs. Maybe misinterpreted a sign. Maybe it was on.
You think that's one of those situations where he sees him breaking and didn't want to swing?
No.
To give him the stolen base? No.
Well, first base is different than second.
A pop up to shallow center. Long run for Merrifield, and he'll make the grab.
Now you're going to see Whit Merrifield is going to take charge right here. This ball's going to go up in the air. You got 3 people converging. You can hear the crowd move up. When you're a player, you hear that. And then he's going to take charge. Look at everybody goes right out of the way there. Actually, Bonifacio could have got out a little further out of the way.
Yeah, he sure wasn't the closest player to it, was he? Bonifacio probably was the closest, but Merrifield, as you mentioned, taking charge.
You got to take charge. You can't have that drop.
Ronnie Rodriguez, who has a home run in the series and 5 on the year. Fouled it back.
Goodrum's getting some attention over there now, so maybe that helps distract Peralta, and he hangs one. They're definitely paying attention. I'm surprised that they care that he even goes.
You wouldn't?
The tying runs at the plate. It's the most important.
Concentrate on the batter.
You concentrate on the runner and hang a pitch, gets it out of the park. You can tell him to take him off the base and say score, but obviously they can get a double play with him. That would be appealing, but I'm just saying you don't want to take your attention off of the tying run and the winning runs in the index circle.
Caught the corner, 0-2.
96. Twins in double play depth. That's what they're thinking about. I'm sorry, the Royals. I was just getting ahead of myself there a little
Twins
bit.
are next.
Twins are on Tuesday.
Tigers will leave tomorrow for Minnesota. 3 games set there, and then they'll close it out in Milwaukee.
The last trips of the year can be fun, you know. They have theme nights sometimes. Some of the youngsters. Hopefully that's the case. It's always cool.
Poke to right. And on a hop for Bonifacio. The Tigers aren't done yet.
Now this is good right here. Look how he stays on it. We were showing how he's changed his hands earlier. A good extension. He was pulling off the ball earlier in the year. It's rewarded. Tigers got first and second, 1 down. Now the guy at the plate, it's the winning run. We'll take that. That's the walk-off piece we're looking for.
Grayson Griner. Yet to homer in his major league career. Been on base a couple of times. Singled his last time up.
Now, there's different ways to look at it. You can hit off the heater. Some might sit on off speed. That one there was 83 miles an hour. Kind of hanging in the zone. Hope they hang it.
7 walk-offs for the Tigers this season. I'll make it 2-0. Barely missed.
Crowd's getting into it.
Sensing something with one down. Big swing.
Went for it. Maybe just a little too high right here. 96. Just underneath it. That's why you can see right there why everybody goes to that high pitch above the zone. It's hard to get on top if you're a hitter.
Three and one to Grayson Griner. Did hit 4 bombs at Toledo. Victor Reyes excitedly waits on deck. Bases are juiced.
No action in the Royals pen. I'm going to stick with Peralta. Victor Reyes with a great opportunity to ruin his buddy's day. Brad Keller, his buddy is Rule 5 buddy.
Yeah, Keller stands to win it.
We need a little more goose, I think.
Did you call for that? Did you call for that?
Look at. Look up in the sky from time to time. You'll see them flying around, checking.
Not around you.
Out.
They're scared of you.
They're not scared of me.
Victor Reyes 1 for 4 with the bases loaded. Harold Castro runs for Grayson Griner.
This is the old keyhole right here. It could be right down the middle.
Half swing and it's 1-1.
Guess a strike.
What did you enjoy most about these situations, Jimmy?
Well, you got to slow yourself down. I'm going to point to this guy right here, Castro. He's the key. He's the winning run. So you're going to watch what this first baseman's going to do. You're going to get off as far as you can get off, because if it's a long single or a short double, you got to want to score. Yeah, this here you just got to keep things in perspective.
Golf to center. Merrifield with a catch. Goodrum with the tag. Tigers are within 1.
Okay, so Ducey is going to be the hitter, right? He hit a fastball last time up. I would sit off speed right here. I hit a fastball the first pitch.
Even though it wasn't off Peralta, he hit it off Kevin McCarthy.
I would sit off speed and hope that he hung me like a split or get me over breaking ball. It's just one way of doing it. I did that many times in my career and it worked. So a lot of guys have a hard time taking a fast. He might, if you sit it and he throws a fastball in the middle, he'd be like, oh, I took a fastball.
Yeah.
If you're not ready to do that, then you can't do it.
Tigers and Royals have played 8 one-run games this year.
Here's another reason why I do that, because it makes you slow down when you're sitting on the breaking ball and you still react.
Fastball up in the zone, 0-1.
Yeah, that's too much juice up there for me to get on top of that. going to keep throwing it up top or in the dirt with this split.
Oh, 0-2 to Jim Adducci now.
Little base hit here will do. You don't have to hit it out. Peralta's got good stuff at the top of the zone. He's got a good split, curveball.
Good stop by Gallagher.
Split right there. So, you know, you look at the approach we were talking about. It really isn't a bad approach as long as you had conviction in what you want to do. So Deuce was looking for the heater. He got it. I was looking for the change. Didn't get it. You got to be right.
That one hopped in there.
Okay, so I think those are two splits, right? Now you're analyzing. He hadn't gotten those over.
So fastball, you're saying.
Now you're looking back for the heater.
Such big stops for Gallagher. He doesn't block those. You got runners at second and third, and it's a totally different mindset.
Base hit wins it.
Yeah. Rodriguez at second. Harold Castro, the pinch runner at first.
Yeah, Castro's got to make sure he gets off.
Got him. And the Royals spoil Detroit's home finale. A one-run win for the visitors. Now we send you to the Coliseum studio. Mickey York and Dan Petrie standing by for Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Shep, thank you very much. The rally comes up short. Coming up on Tigers Live, we'll hear from Daniel Norris. Did he feel like he took a step forward with his performance today? Dan Petrie will show you why the Tigers couldn't deliver the knockout blow to Brad Keller today. We'll look back at the best moments of the season here at Comerica Park. And Ron Gardenhire's message to Tiger fans following the home finale next on Tigers Live.